Hi everyone, and welcome back to the London Watch Collector channel. If you just tuned in to my channel, I'm a watch collector, a watch enthusiast. I'm basically addicted to watches. And on my channel, I'll be sharing my passion for watches using 4K content. I'll be discussing and showing you brilliant timepieces ranging from Seiko to Patek Philippe. So guys, if you enjoy my reviews, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell and follow me on Instagram. So guys, as promised, this week we have the full unboxing, including the sticker removal of the latest Rolex addition to my collection, which is the Sea Deepsea D-Blue James Cameron reference 126660. So as always, like I do in all my reviews, what we'll be doing is I'll show you what comes with the watch, including the tags, the box, booklets, etc., followed by a sticker removal, and then talking to you about the watch, how it commemorates the James Cameron solo dive, and everything you need to know about the watch. So in case you're not sure, there are 4 different sizes to the Rolex box, having small, medium, large, and then the extra large being for the precious metal, day dates, etc. So this is actually a large, and there's a way to find out by the tag, the white tag. There's always a letter at the end. I'll show that to you in a second as well. It comes with a sleeve. At the back of the sleeve it says Oyster L and the code for the box. After you remove the sleeve, you'll be presented with the cream Rolex box with the crown presented at the top. Inside you have the booklet, which is both for the Sea Dweller and the Deep Sea. Inside the booklet tells you about the helium escapement valve, and then you have the how to use your glide lock, how to use your flip lock, extension link, etc. Inside the box, first is the flip lock, which I've removed. And you guys out there who've actually removed the flip lock like I did, you'll understand how comfortable this watch becomes once you remove the flip lock. It wears exactly like a sub, because the flip lock actually digs sometimes into your skin, especially if you have it loose. So removing it actually makes a huge difference. And then you have the green seal, the green tag, which gives you 5 years warranty and proves it's a superlative chronometer. And then you have the white tag. At the back of it, you'll have your reference number, serial number, and then that letter L at the end, which means a large box. Basically what happens is the retailer selling you the watch checks the tag and knows which box to get to you. So Rolex started specifying which size of box you need for each watch. So at the slot at the back, you'll have your worldwide service guarantee manual. At the back of it is your guarantee card, which again has your serial number and reference number as well. At the back of it will have your name, date of purchase, and the name of the retailer, or Rolex boutique for that matter. So guys, all stickers removed. As I said last week, I removed a couple in the car so that I could actually enjoy it. I was out and about in London with some friends and it looks odd with stickers on, just doesn't make sense. And if you look at the back, so the back is actually made of titanium and it says Rolex Oyster Deepsea Sea Dweller 3,900 meter, which is 12,800 feet. That's nearly 4 kilometers down. That's just crazy. So talking to you more about the watch. Full watch is made out of 904L stainless steel. It has the Oyster bracelet, which has the safety clasps as well. This bracelet is broader than the previous version of the Deepsea D-Blue. And I believe this would be a 22mm bracelet compared to the 20 or 21mm previous model. And I think it's a good touch by Rolex to do this because it matches the watch perfectly now. The glide lock is different. It's not like the subs. So the subs usually at the bottom, but the Deepsea is actually from the top. You just have to flip it up and then adjust the glide lock accordingly. The flip lock was removed, but basically it sits here and all you need to do is open it up and it gives you an extra length to be able to fit it over a diver suit or kind of a submarine capsule that has robotic hands. And that's what happened with James Cameron. That's where the watch was actually fitted. But I'll talk to you about James Cameron's solo dive in a bit. Let's finish off the watch for now. On the inside you have the Rolex engraving, Stellinox, Rolexa, and then some codes. This is where the clasp is and the way it locks is just brilliant. Honestly, I feel that Rolex clasps is probably one of the best out there. The unidirectional bezel graduated to 120 clicks. This watch is all about the dial. Just look at that dial. Isn't it just magnificent? If you're not aware of what this D-Blue dial is, what does D-Blue mean? So basically, as I said, this watch was made to commemorate James Cameron's historic solo dive, which was in 2012. And it starts from the top. So at 12 o'clock, if you can see, it starts as a brilliant blue. And then moving toward the 6 o'clock, it goes to a bottomless black. It's a 2-color gradient dial, showing the ocean at the top being bright, and the deeper you go down to the ocean, there's just black, as you can see. And this was the deepest place on Earth, called as the Mariana Trench. And the case is 44mm. It's made out of oyster steel, which is 904L. It has a screw down case back and winding crown, and it has something called as a Rolex ring lock system, as it's mentioned on the dial. It's a special design made by Rolex to create the seal, to create this waterproofness, to be able to withstand nearly 4 tons of pressure on the sapphire crystal. So as you can see from the photo, that's how it's actually stacked on top of each other, and that's how it actually is. So at the top, having a Cerachrome bezel insert, followed by the rotatable bezel. Then you have your clamping ring, the case, and then your 5.5mm sapphire crystal. Then you have the gasket, and then you have a nitrogen alloyed steel compression ring, followed by the movement, case back gasket, and a grade 5 titanium case back. So the purpose of this ring is actually to reduce the stresses on the case, enabling to actually be a smaller case. Although the case to us might seem as a thick one, that's probably the thinnest they were able to manufacture, having it rated to this depth. So basically what happens with this ring lock system, the deeper you go into the ocean, there's obviously more pressure exerted on the watch. So what happens is the sapphire crystal and titanium back are pressed against the inner ring, compressing the gaskets that seal them. This improves the sealing of the watch, and because the stresses on the case is now minimum due to the ring lock being installed, the case can actually be smaller than it would have been if you did not have a ring lock system. So just imagine how thick it would have been to be able to withstand the 4 tons of pressure exerted on the watch. Moving on to the rest of the watch, so the bezel is unidirectional. It has a trip lock winding crown. The crystal you see here, which is actually domed, and it's beautiful the way it catches the light when you look at it from an angle. It's a 5.5mm thick scratch resistant sapphire crystal. It's waterproof to 3,900 meters, which is equivalent to 12,800 feet. And to the side of the case, it has a helium escape valve. The movement is a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement, being a caliber 3235, which is manufactured by Rolex in-house. The precision it has is a +2, -2 seconds per day. It's a simple date function, which has a center hour, minute, and seconds hand. It has an instantaneous date change, which changes less than 1/8 of a second, which changes around midnight. This watch changes at exactly 12:06 and 32 seconds. And this can actually be regulated to be exactly at 12. It's not really a big deal. The oscillator is a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring and has high performance Paraflex shock absorbers. The winding is a bidirectional self-winding via perpetual rotor. Power reserve is 70 hours compared to the previous model, which had 48 hours. The bracelet is an oyster flat 3-piece link. The clasp is a folding oyster lock safety clasp with the Rolex Glide Lock extension system, along with the flip lock extension link. It has a high legible chromolite display with long-lasting blue luminescence. There's another thing that I wanted to show you, comparing the previous 11660 to this one. If you look at the writing of the ring lock system and the original gas escapement valve, and you compare it to the previous model, you can see that Rolex changed the font, or let's say the boldness of the font. It used to be a bit darker, thicker in writing. Now it's more subtle, it's not really in your face, it doesn't pop as it used to compared to the old type. But I think it was a really good move by Rolex. So why is Deep Sea written in this green fluorescent writing? As I said, this watch commemorates James Cameron's solo dive, and the capsule he used was actually this color. And it's a very nice touch by Rolex to do this. It shows you the history of this watch, it shows you the challenge it had to go through. So the watch that James Cameron was wearing wasn't actually this one. This was the commercial version. The actual watch was called as a Deep Sea Challenge, and it was rated to 12,000 meters down, which is 12 kilometers. It was actually connected to the arm of the capsule, which was a robotic. The supercharged Rolex Deep Sea had a larger sapphire crystal, making it more thick, popping out of the case, but it actually passed the challenge. I have a 17 centimeter wrist, and to be honest, it's a bit thick, but it doesn't really bother me. I've been wearing it for the last couple of weeks and it's not bothering me at all. I actually think it's quite perfect, and I love the fact that it's a big and bulky and chunky one. It's like a G-Wagon Mercedes. You don't really need that bulkiness, that extra power, that uncomfortable seat whereby it's actually really uncomfortable. If you've ever been into one, you realize how uncomfortable a G-Wagon is, and it's a love and hate relationship. And I love how this watch resembles that. You don't need the 3,900 meter waterproofness. You don't need it, but you want to have it. I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.